Thank you all for coming. Fall camp's been going well. We're having a great time out there, and we're ready for our first game this year.
Questions? Anybody? I'll kick it off. What kind of changes have you seen from the spring through the summer from what you've been doing in the past?
I'll answer that. Well, offensively, I think that the tempo and just the mentality that Coach Woodman brings to our offense is completely different from what we had last year. Last year, we struggled a lot, run game and in a lot of areas. And I think what Coach Woodman had brought has fixed a lot of our issues from last year. So I'm excited for what we could do in the run game.
Just kind of as a follow on that, I know that he's talked about trying to run the football more, which I know you're happy about.
Excited, yeah.
With a new head coach, what are some changes that you've noticed from last season to this season? Mostly with the coaching, but also just kind of the mentality of the team.
I think we're playing more as a team. I feel like there's a greater camaraderie right now, and I think if we just keep this energy, keep going forward, I think it's going to be a great season this year.
Just as a follow-up, camaraderie, obviously that leads to culture of your program, right? How would you feel? Has there been a culture shift or a culture change with Coach Woodman coming in and changing versus maybe in years past? And obviously, in the world we live in with transfer portal and transfers, the new guys coming in, how they melted into that culture?
I feel like we're just like a large family right now. Even with the new transfers coming in, they came in the spring, came in then just early this summer, some are just this fall right now. The freshmen, obviously, I feel like we're just arms wide open, just taking everyone in. We're all on the same goal, just working together.
Yeah.
Scheme-wise, what can we look for with this offense?
I don't know how much I could. Scheme-wise, just know we got a lot of depth. So just expect to see a lot of guys on the field. We have a lot of talent, especially in the running back room. We have a deep room in the receiver room. So it's going to be a lot of competing, and I'm just excited for that. Yeah.
As far as run, pass, balance, imbalance, what do you think?
We're going to run the ball when the boxes are light, and then whenever it's heavy, we're going to throw the ball.
I like the sound of that.
Just as two veteran guys, what are you guys most looking forward to this season?
For me, this is going on in my 5th year. I'm excited for the change that Coach Woodman has brought. And, my goal is to just win every week, just tackle each week and just go as far as I can.
Same with him. This is my 5th year. Basically, I already have a job lined up and stuff. I just wanted to come out here because I love these guys. I just want to keep playing with them, just keep grinding, basically.
We've got some continuity, too, at quarterback with Carter coming back, which is, I'm sure, pretty important. If you would discuss that.
It's great having him here. He's coming back off injuries. It's nice having him out on the field leading us.
Guys, talk about the excitement. We talked about having a new coach, but I know it's kind of refreshing, the excitement, the newness of it. What has that brought to the whole team, just the newness of a new era of football, of the Woodman era?
I think we saw it pretty early once he came in. He pretty much set the tone. Just the tempo of practice was completely different from what we did before. You could just see the excitement in guys. Guys are working harder. They're pushing themselves more. I think they're just trying to prove themselves to the coaches, especially with the new staff. There's a lot you got to prove. So I think with everything that we've done so far, we have a long way to go. But I think with everything we've done so far, it's looking pretty good. So.
James, I got a question for you. A couple seasons ago, you were really close to cracking 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Think you can do that this year?
I think I could do it, yeah. That's the goal.
O-line's going to help him, too, this year. We got it.
Yeah.
For you guys, what would be a successful season?
Winning every week.
I think just getting better every week. Just we have our main goal. We're not going to just talk about the main goal, but the steps to get to that main goal, we're just going to try to complete every step, just go down the list.
Yeah.
Do you find you guys are more excited about this year than maybe the last couple of years? You feel like a renewed sense of excitement?
Oh yeah, I mean each year you come with excitement, but especially with a whole new coaching staff change, there's a new type of feeling that you get. So especially for me, since I've been here so long, like I'm ecstatic with everything we could do. So yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Start. We got a little introduction already. We'll just go ahead and open it up for questions for these guys.
Can we have these guys introduce themselves though real quick?
Okay. Paul O'Brien, defensive line.
Jahal McCall, safety.
Todd, here at Morehead State, here at Stacy. Talk about the Valpo game last year and what you had for breakfast that morning, and then what stretch routine you went into, and how can you bring that game into this season?
The Valpo game was a pretty crazy game. We made it on ESPN from that week. For breakfast, I just had pancakes and eggs. But yeah, each game this week, I want to have that same mentality and just lead the guys on defense.
Are there any schematic changes that you're going through defensively? What would be the biggest ones?
Well, we kind of had the same defense in the spring, and with the new defense coordinator, he kind of brought in the same philosophy. But there would definitely be some new fronts, multiple fronts that'll throw off offenses for sure.
Blitzing a lot, or?
Yeah, a lot of blitzes and a lot of movements from the D-line, so this should be fun.
What's the biggest change in the program that you've noticed?
I would say like everybody's energy around the facility. I feel like as players now, we feel like more open and be more vocal to the coaches.
Yeah, definitely just a bigger family atmosphere. Really close with everyone. Everyone knows each other, so it's nice.
How do you see your role as leaders, both of you guys?
We just need to be vocal as leaders, lead guys from the front. Like a lot of guys just want to sit in the back and like just get through the day, but you just got to be vocal, lead guys, make sure everybody's doing the right thing, and we'll be all right.
I would say the same thing, being more vocal. I know a lot of guys want to sit in the back and like will have certain thoughts in their head, but don't want to say it. So I got to be that one guy to just say what everybody's feeling.
As two veteran guys, you both have been on a handful of different teams, but what in particular sticks out about this team this season?
I would say it was more family oriented this season. Everybody's like just one big family, even from like freshmen to the transfers and the guys that are returning.
To add to that, I think we also know how close we are to being good and being successful. So a lot of guys are super hungry. We know how close we are. It's just a matter of finishing games at this point. So,
Paul, you were a part of the interview committee, and I know that at that moment, I can remember a comment you said, I don't want to be sitting here next year and saying that, well, we're still in a rebuilding phase.
yeah.
You think that we're at that point and ready to take off and launch?
Yeah, we're definitely not rebuilding. We're ready to go. We're ready to win now. So it's exciting.
Jihad, have you set a goal for how many kicks you plan to block this year? What's your secret?
There was no secret, just rush up the middle and just try to block it. But I know my career total was 5, and I think the school record is 5, so I definitely want to get another one this year to set the new record.
You guys have been at camp now a little over a week. It's a grind for anybody who's been a part of that. Are there any memories or things that are popping out within this kind of grind that you can say, yeah, this camp moment or camp memory for us, whether that's a switch in mentality or just something that occurred that's memorable?
I think this camp, we're just bringing physicality this year. I think all around, O-line, D-line, linebackers, even receivers are out there blocking. So it's refreshing, it's good to see, and it's going to look good on Saturdays. So.
last year, I know that you'd have some great series defensively, then there'd be a breakdown, give up a big play, touchdown or whatever. What's the key to developing the consistency that you want, series to series?
It's just having a mindset of a bend but don't break mindset, and just coming out every series more physical and wanting to take the field with energy and like just intimidate the offense.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Coach Jason Woodman here in his first year. Welcome, Coach. First media day.
Thank you.
Excitement surrounding the program. I'll let you make a little opening statement, and then
Yep.
we'll go for questions.
All right, sounds good. First of all, I just want to tell you guys that we're really excited to be here. From day one, I can't say enough about our players, the attitude, the character, just the motivation to get better every day has been stellar. Not a normal situation walking into a new program. You usually kind of expect some bumps in the road, some discipline issues, and we haven't had that. And it's a testament to our players. I'm just very proud to be their coach, and for them to come out and work the way they have. And we've challenged them really, really tough this fall. We've been really hard on them. But I think that they know that they're talented and they have the ability to be really good. And as a coaching staff, we talked about that before camp started, and we knew that if we didn't push them to be the best that they could be, we weren't going to do our job as coaches. And I think the players understand that. I think that that's one thing from a culture standpoint. We talk about culture a good bit, but I don't always know if people understand what culture really is. But our guys lead, and they've been led by our seniors. They've understood that one of the things that develops our culture is how we attack things every day, and the standard that we kind of expect from them, and we try to hold them to that every day, and they've been phenomenal. I really am so proud of our guys and the coaches, the way that we've been able to get through 10 practices, the gains we've made so far, and I just think that it's a situation that's not normal, man. Our players and our coaches have been phenomenal, and we're just really excited to get to August 29th. We know we still have 15 days. We have a lot of practicing left. We got a lot of things we got to clean up, but from top to bottom, when we walked in January to where we're at now, I think it's head and shoulders of where we started, and a lot of that comes back to the players. I'm just so proud of them for giving everything they have. Personally, it's been awesome to be Morehead. Every day it seems like more and more just normal and home. And, my family's finally settled in. My kids started school yesterday. That was a little bit of a challenge. My daughter went to high school for the first day. That was gut-wrenching, I'm not going to lie. But we're just so excited to be part of the community. It's been phenomenal since we got here, and I always joke around and say, well, it's great right now. We haven't lost the game yet. So we're after that, we'll see what happens. But so far, it's been really good, and we're just really happy to be here.
Quick question is in regards to chemistry. A lot of new guys on staff, obviously, a lot of new guys that you're getting used to on the roster, getting used to new guys too, as well as players. How do you build that chemistry?
I think with time and, as a coach, I think you have to be consistent with everybody across the board. I think they have to understand kind of the standards everywhere. And if you can get those guys in a position group to know that our coach expects this out of us, and there's no leniency in that, I think that builds continuity. They're all fighting the same battles. I think the more time we're together, obviously, kind of human nature, the more things that the more stressful situations that we put them in together and how they're responding together and how they have to figure out that they have to depend on each other. Those are all things that we try to do as coaches, and I think those are things that are very important, especially early on in camp. You know, we've challenged these guys. We've put them in some tough spots, and we knew coming in we needed to, and they've been great. So I think just repetition and standard is usually how you build that.
One thing I noticed, Coach, over the last couple of years was former alumni of the football team specifically not feeling as involved with the program,
Mm-hmm.
and strictly from a program standpoint, not athletics as a whole. And I'm curious how you plan to involve former alumni, and then the elephant in the room, Phil Sims as well. Have you
Yeah.
spoken to him? Have you all had interaction? I know you have quite the resume, but curious if you've spoken to him since you became a coach.
Yeah, we've talked a good bit. He's hilarious on the phone. The last conversation we had, I think he called me at 10:30 at night, and 11:30, I'm like, "Hey Phil, I gotta work in the morning, man. Like we gotta get off the phone." He's apologizing to me. I'm like, "Don't apologize. Like, I'm glad you called me, but we got a life here." I think that's a challenge that it takes time. You know, we haven't had the ability to really reach out to the alumni like I wanted to initially, but we had a lot of things that we had to get straight before that became a priority within the program. But I think it's there. You know, I've had good feedback with the guys that I have been able to connect with. I see more and more of them just randomly showing up at the office, and I tell them all, I'm like, "Man, tell everybody, just show up. Whenever you get a chance, come on." And it's been really good so far, but I know that's still something that we want to develop better with my staff and myself. I think that the more we can outreach to them, the better. And, you know, Andy Prefontaine's doing a really good job of promoting a special program for us, and we're trying to target more of our alumni and get them back on campus and make them part of the program, whether they felt like they were or not in the past. I think it's very important, and I think as a head coach, it's important to be open with those guys. You know, I don't know a lot of them, but I know what I represent right now means a lot to them. So my goal is to create an atmosphere and produce a product that they're proud of and they want to be part of. And I think if you do that, I think the rest of it takes care of itself a lot of times. But we do need to, you know, it's a challenge. It's a process, and we're trying to get to all those guys and tell them, "Hey, you're welcome here. We want you here. You built this thing, and you're part of us." And I think we'll get there eventually.
Jason, you've been coaching for a long time. You know this business. How is this year different for you?
It's been a long time since I've had the same challenges. You know, you look back to 11 years ago as the first time, first day as the head coach of a new program, and I think the times have changed so much. You know, it's becoming harder and harder to relate to these guys, and probably because I'm getting older. But you know, with the days, it's there's times that are challenging. But I don't know. I think it's been more fun this year, and again, I think it comes back to the players. You know, I joke around, tell them all the time that when I go through things in my personal life, the thing that keeps me running and makes me back to me is being around them and being on the field. And I think that's been a big plus for me as a person also, but as a program, I think so. And you know, some of the normal challenges you have. You know, you got, again, the daily standard, and trying to get those guys to understand that is big. But it's been a lot of fun, and I don't know. I think you know, there are some similarities, but as a whole, it's still its own beast, and it's been a little bit different than it had before.
Jason, there's no getting around the transition aspect of being a first-year coach, but in player comments, Paul mentioned he doesn't have the feeling that this is a rebuild. He feels
Right.
You're ready to compete now.
Mm-hmm.
What's your perspective?
I feel the same way. We have 20-some seniors that have played a lot of football here and have been through some good and some bad. We didn't walk in here to say, "Hey, you guys, you have one more year left, and then we'll worry about what happens in the future." We came here to win, and those guys deserve that. The things that they've been through, the work that they've had to do, the guys that stuck around through the winter when they could have very easily walked out of here. As a head coach, I'm giving everything we have. We're going to win now for them. Rebuild's not really a word for me anymore because of the transfer portal. You're rebuilding basically your roster every year if you're not careful, and it's something that happens. And I think you got to attack every year. You know, you got to be ready to win now. For us, I think we're in a good position with these older upperclassmen guys that have played a lot of football. I don't see it as a rebuild at all. I think it's what the kind of the way we attacked it was. We knew we had a good core group. We wanted to bring in some guys to help that could, you know, produce and do some things early and soon, and we also have some freshmen to come in that we think we can develop. But rebuilding, no, we were here to win, and I told the guys that the first day we walked in. You know, I took this job to come here and be successful. I didn't take this job to come here and you know, kick the seniors out and rebuild a program. You know, they're here for a reason, and they're part of my team, and we're going to make sure they're winning immediately.
Schematically, offense, defense, what kind of changes have you made, maybe some of the biggest ones?
Well, Chuck, I'm not going to tell anybody what we're doing so the other teams don't know, but we are putting triple reverse, double option passes in.
Is that the one I sent you?
Yes, and you know, we're doing some other fun stuff, but you know, I think schematically, football's football. You know, you have inside zone, outside zone, you're running power. And how you do it's kind of up in the air. But you know, for us, it was kind of getting back to the basics. You know, I know we talked a lot about early on offensive line wise and the things we do up front. We needed to improve that immediately, and whether that's putting them in situations that are better schematically or certain types of plays, then that's what we got to do. But we're going to attack this thing every week a little bit different. You know, everybody asks what kind of offense you run. Well, and I always say, well, we're pro style. We're multiple. Well, that's because we don't know what we're going to be able to do, you know, the next week to be successful. And again, it's going to be a weekly game plan. We have some things we'll hang our hats on and be really good at whenever we need to be. But more than anything, it's going to be putting those guys in position to be successful.
I guess kind of as a follow-up real quick, you know, good defenses tackle well. Do you feel like you're pretty good there?
I do. I think, you know, experience-wise, we have guys over here who played a lot of football, and that's one of the things that we're leaning on. And we haven't been able to tackle as much as we would like to, obviously, with the rules and some of the stuff we have to do. But I think that experience, a lot of times that's really good on the tackling side. When you have guys that have played college football and had the made tackles in college, I think that's a plus, and I think we have that over there.
If there was one key message you could get out to the general public right now about this program, what would it be?
Just one. That's it. Just one. You know, I think the number one message that I would want to get out to everybody is that you know, this is more of a family thing than I think it's been in the past, and I think for us as a whole program, you know, we talk about it with our players, but I think that we want the community to feel the continuity and part of the program, part of the university, and kind of bring that back a little bit. And I want to be able to let them know that, hey, we're working to represent you. We want you to be a part of this. We want you here on game days. You know, we're going to come out here. These guys are busting our butts because at the end of the day, we want to represent Morehead, and we want to represent the community and the people that work here and the people that have been here in the past and built this thing. I think that's the biggest thing that I want to let everybody know is that it's not just about us. We work our butts off to put a product out there that we want everybody in the community to be proud of, and we're encouraging them to come in and take part of it.
Jason, talk about being at Morehead. Has it exceeded your expectations? Is it about what you thought it would be? I mean,
yeah, I think. You know, I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest with you. You go through the process, you do your research, you kind of, you know, you're trying to figure it out as much as you can. And I think that there are certain things that have been really good, much better than I expected, like I said, the players. And there's been some things that are what I expected. There's not been as many things that weren't what I expected, which is a good thing. And we knew coming in there's things we need to work on. There's challenges that we have within the department that we know about already. We walked in, we knew that. So it's been really good for me as a person to kind of step out of that zone that I felt like I had at Fairmont. You know, I was there for 11 years. I told the guys I could have stayed there probably forever if I really wanted to. But we came here to accept a different challenge. We knew the challenges coming in, and that's what we've done. You know, we really haven't looked back, and it's been a lot of fun to face some of those that I hadn't faced in a while. And we were just excited about it. We knew, like I said, we knew coming in what they were, and you know, we're ready to tackle them, whether it's year one or we're year whenever. You know, we're just going to continue to fight, continue to do things better, improve every day, and it's been pretty good.
you talked about expecting to win. You want to win now. How have the players received that? Because they're starving to be a winning football program. So how have they embraced the attitude you brought?
As far as the attitude goes, I think that's one of the challenges that you have as a head coach because you know every team in the country says, "Well, we want to win every game." Well, for me, it's always been, well, you can say that, but what are you doing to actually do that? And I think the players, they want to do that. They, like I said, from day one, they've done everything we've asked them. But I think the hardest challenge is getting them to understand that they don't really know what they don't know. Like they think that doing this is what wins. In our mind, it's no. Like you're doing this and this, and you got to do it every day. It's not just we're going to show up and practice for 10 minutes. So I think again the culture, the attitude, kind of the expectation of what it takes to win is the biggest challenge for us. And getting those guys to get it, it seems it's weird. It usually takes about a year before the guys figure it out. Well, we can see it every day. Like we ran sprints on day one, and you see, I don't know, it wasn't good. And the next day we challenged them. Well, 3 days later we're running the same sprints, and you see, much more improvement. And we ran them yesterday or the day before, and you saw the whole team improving. And when it's not so much about the physical part of it as it is the mental side, we weren't running them to make them in shape. I mean, that's part of it, but really we were testing them to see who's going to quit. And now they figure that out. Like our expectation is not we're going to fight to the end, and if we can get that happening, then winning comes after that. And I think that's been the biggest challenge as far as the attitude and the expectations is getting them to understand what it actually takes in our mind to be that and to win every day.
Have you thought about that first game the Thursday night when you guys went out on the field for the first time?
I've thought about it since January, but I knew there was a lot of stuff that had to happen between now and then, and I'm really big on focusing on every day. We talk about getting better today. We want to be better today than we were yesterday. So, not as much as you would think. We're worried about us right now, and we're still worried about getting our mind right and getting our expectations of where they need to be. And we'll worry about that come game week and do what we have to do. But right now, we know it's there. And I talk to the guys about, hey, the future's going to be here. It's going to come. The past is in the past, man. Worry about today. And we know it's there, but we're worried about getting better tomorrow.
Coach, can you talk about your coaching staff a little bit? I know it's new for a lot of them. How's that transition?
Yeah, it's been good. I brought 5 guys with me from Fairmont, so this is nothing new for us. We've been together. The continuity there has been really good, and we brought a new defensive coordinator in, Will Truelove. He was at Birmingham Southern, the school that shut down. We were able to bring him in about a month ago now. He's been phenomenal. Like Paul said, he piggybacked off of everything we had done in the spring, and he's starting to kind of mix his own little thing into it. And it's been a really good fit for us, personnel-wise, and even personally. He has a family, two young girls, and I'm like, hey, I just went through everything you're going through. So that's been a really good fit for us too. And some of the young coaches that came from really good programs, Division II and Division III programs, but they're tops in the nation. You bring them in here, and the expectation, the standard is already built, and that's been a really good thing for us too. It's they may be young, but they've been around some good programs and know what it takes to win. And as a whole, it's been really good.
Thank you.
That it? All right. Got it. Thank you. Thanks, guys.